and it's bleeding. Just imagine if your soul, if you're something very fragile and sensitive, and every subtle form of negating makes it bleed. You'd be a pond of blood. You have to keep all that neat and clean and no blood. You don't have to hurt yourself. You know, this is the secret for peace. This is the secret. I'm talking about an attitude. All these things should be known. It contains aggression to try to change. It contains also negation to try to change, which is not loving. It has, so we're trying to change to become more loving, and we are unloving with what we are. So the place where we could actually exercise our love, we don't use it. But we like to love something else or someone else or something that maybe make us look more loving. But we are not loving with ourselves. We don't love the creation of nature in our form. We just don't like it. And we want peace. We'd like to become a tree, rather a tree than me. You're much better than a tree. You can walk.
This is still.
Yeah. Don't worry about stillness. You'll be still not long, you know. Yeah, in a few years down the lane, you'll be still. There's no way out. Guaranteed. That's something you will all achieve. Stillness. And you move an inch, not a hair. So don't idealize stillness. Idealize yourself. By looking and knowing yourself, look at the miracle of your totality. This is what you have. You don't have stillness to idealize. Stillness will come. When it comes, then we will observe it. But for now, we have to start with what we have. And what we have is a body and emotions and a social condition and a situation and a heart that beats for more and more love. And we negate it. So it's, for you it's invisible. But for me, I see you all with weapons. Some of you carry hammers, some of you carry big knives. Even your words are weapons. If you walk naked, you don't need to defend yourself. But the moment you start getting defense mechanisms, you need more and more and more. And you need to come to the core where you're naked and you need to feel safe in it. And that's self-inquiry. It's not just who am I. It's to come to the core of your presence and the innocence and the miracle of being here, and to do it consciously. In your version, not in someone else's version. And that kind of teaching you need to learn. Because nothing can do what that can do. And we learn to be hostile with ourselves because everybody's doing it as well. We grew up seeing everybody doing it, so we just do it. It's just what we learn to do. get better and to get more promoted, whatever, to get success. Even the idea of getting success, you see, which is something, it's more American, but still we are kind of everywhere.
Can I make another cup of tea in the meantime? Sorry to interrupt.
No, you can. No, I can have it. It's okay. I think of you every sip. You need to be not successful to wish to be successful. No? If you want success, it's because you declare yourself a failure. And you are a success already. This is the success. But we are not aware of the immensity that is required for you to be in this room, sitting, manifesting through the body, and the balance of forces, physical, the physics, the chemistry. You're not aware of any of that. This is more unlikely to happen than to happen. And it's like a bomb time, time bomb, you call it. Yes? It's going to explode. It's not going to hold it together for too long. This life is not going to hold it together. I mean, if you look at the immensity of life and time, space, but we lose sight of that, and then we just take it for granted, and then we look, and that's ignorance. That's samsara. You forget the miracle. You forget the miracle. And then you want to change. And just the desire to change is a negation of God to God. Just the desire to change is a negation to this, to the self, to existence. The only blessing in this context of self-realization, the only blessing, the only desire that is a blessing is the desire for freedom, because that comes from somewhere else. It doesn't come from your. It's like a little bit of compassion coming from the universe in your mind, in a drop form. But we seem not to understand that freedom is a matter of option, is a matter of attitude. And we don't understand. I mean, because it is happening now as we speak. You see? Now as we speak, something in you is describing this, and that something is wrong. It's happening now. As we speak now. When we all kind of talk about things and we think it's going to be later or tomorrow, we're going to try and who knows what. But it's more subtle than that. We need to raise our attention to what happens now, and we need to understand that we are rejecting. And that has to stop. If you want some long-lasting peace, you have to stop rejecting yourself. And I know it sounds a bit maybe cheesy, but this is what happens. Ultimately, that's what happens. And if you're not rejecting yourself as such, maybe you're not confronting it so badly, but you're just reflecting your state, you're rejecting your states or your ways of being, or the fact that you don't bother with what you think you should bother, or the fact that you bother with what you think you shouldn't bother. It's another way of rejecting yourself. It's more indirect, but it's the same. It ends up in you not being right. So he's completely disconnected from the order of the cosmos, completely disconnected from what is meant to be, what is happening. I mean, which is not discussion. You can't discuss. You can think about what it could be, what it can be, what shouldn't be, what should be. But there is an irrefutable truth in what is, and we are in conflict with it, and we want peace. So how can we find peace if we are hostile? Hmm? When we have an emotion we think we shouldn't have. Yes, please.